Hello, I'm Sand Recap, and this film is titled, The Equalizer 3 Inches in Southern Italy. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 realizes his friends are controlled by local crime bosses. As danger escalates, he steps up as their protector against the Mafia. In Sicily, Lorenzo Vitali, a notorious criminal boss, visits his vineyard accompanied by his grandson, only to discover a grim scene of lifeless bodies scattered about. Venturing inside the premises alone, Vitali encounters a tense standoff. 3 of his henchmen have Robert 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 at gunpoint. Vitali inquires about 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's presence, to which 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 responds that he came to retrieve something they wrongfully took. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 sternly demands that they back down within 9 seconds, and when they fail to comply, he swiftly eliminates the 3 thugs. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 departs, leaving Vitali injured and helpless. Retrieving a shotgun, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 puts an end to Vitali's life with a point-blank shot to the head. While 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 makes his exit, clutching a mysterious bag in hand, the grandson of Lorenzo Vitali catches a glimpse of him. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬, sensing the need to shield the young boy from the unfolding situation, sternly instructs him to remain inside the parked car. However, in an unexpected and shocking turn of events, the young grandson, driven by a mixture of emotions, impulsively wields a firearm and fires a shot that finds its mark in 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's leg. The excruciating pain surges through 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's body as he watches the boy flee from the scene. With sheer determination and an indomitable will, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 manages to drive away from the immediate vicinity, but the intensity of the pain gradually overtakes him, causing him to lose consciousness. It is during this vulnerable moment that a local law enforcement officer, Gio Benucci, stumbles upon 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬. Recognizing the gravity of the situation and the need for immediate medical attention, Gio takes it upon himself to transport the wounded 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 to the office of Dr. 𝐒𝐸𝐲𝐸𝐬, the trusted local physician in their town. Dr. 𝐸𝐸𝐲𝐸𝐬, known for his unwavering commitment to the well-being of the community, promptly tends to 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's severe injury. Understanding the need for discretion in this delicate matter, 𝐒𝐸𝐸𝐬 quietly advises Gio to craft a cover story that portrays 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's injuries as a result of a simple, unfortunate fall, should anyone inquire about the circumstances surrounding his condition. In this sequence of events, the convergence of fate, duty, and secrecy takes center stage, as 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's life hangs in the balance and the small-town community rallies around a mysterious stranger, each playing their part in an unexpected and unfolding drama. After a few days of unconsciousness, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 awakens to find in the quaint town of Altomonte. In this unfamiliar yet welcoming setting, he forges connection, only extends a helping hand but also arranges a place for 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 to reside. As time passes, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's social circle expands to include Gio, the steadfast law enforcement officer, and Gio's daughter Gabby, whose warm-hearted nature draws 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 closer. Seeking a sense of belonging in his newfound community, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 becomes a frequent visitor to the local cafe, where he strikes up a meaningful friendship with Amina, one of the cafe's diligent employees. Yet, amidst the burgeoning camaraderie and the picturesque backdrop of Altomonte, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 grapples with profound questions about his own identity and morality. When Enzo inquires about his alignment with good or evil, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 finds himself in a state of inner turmoil, unable to provide a definitive answer. His conscience bears the weight of haunting memories, particularly those of his late friend Susan Plummer, and the grim recollection of his methodical elimination of the men who once posed a threat to him at the vineyard, their lives extinguished one by one. The town of Altomonte becomes both a sanctuary and a crucible for 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬, where his past actions and his quest for redemption converge, ultimately shaping the path of his uncertain future. Subsequently, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 initiates contact with the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, and engages in a conversation with Emma Collins. During their exchange, he provides her with critical information regarding his discoveries at the Sicilian vineyard, subtly hinting that it warrants a thorough investigation. Acting on this tip, Collins, accompanied by her trusted partner Frank Conroy and a dedicated team, embarks on a mission to the vineyard's location. Their expedition yields a significant revelation as they stumble upon a staggering cache of 11 million euros, alongside an extensive stockpile of illicit narcotics. The scale of their discovery underscores the gravity of the situation. In due course, Collins successfully tracks down 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 in Altomonte, establishing a line of communication with him to share their findings from the vineyard. This connection marks the beginning of a collaborative effort between 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 and the DIA, as they delve deeper into the mysteries and implications surrounding the substantial wealth and contraband they have uncovered. Within the bustling market of Altomonte, a belligerent figure named Marco Quaranta engages in a confrontation with Angelo, a local fish vendor, due to his dissatisfaction with the service. Marco not only expresses his discontent but also issues a demanding ultimatum, insisting that his desires be met upon his next visit. In the shadows of Altamonte, Marco and his sibling Vincent exercise control over the town through their affiliation with the 𝐒𝐚𝐻, a notorious mafia organization that instills fear among its residents. Meanwhile, Marco pays a visit to Vincent, who is in the midst of a tense negotiation with a couple refusing to relinquish their property for Vincent's hotel venture. In response to this resistance, Vincent resorts to a chilling display of power. He orders the wheelchair-bound father of the couple to be violently ejected from the premises and gruesomely hung from a window, leaving the lifeless body as a horrifying spectacle for other residents to witness, thereby sending a stark and ominous warning to all who dare oppose their interests. 𝐒𝐲𝐬 receives an alarming phone call informing him that his daughter Gabby left school prematurely. When he inquires with her teacher, she reveals that one of 𝐒𝐲𝐬's own officers had taken her. Panicked, 𝐒𝐲𝐬 rushes home and discovers a distressing scene: Gabby and his wife Chiara held captive by Marco and his gang of henchmen. In a harrowing confrontation, Marco and his cohorts issue menacing threats to 𝐒𝐲𝐬, compelling him to stay away from their illicit activities. Under the cover of nightfall, 𝐒𝐚𝐻 observes a sudden commotion in the town, as people hastily scatter upon hearing the ominous tolling of a bell. It becomes evident that Angelo's shop has fallen victim to a deliberate act of arson, with Angelo and his wife helplessly held back as they witness their beloved establishment consumed by flames. 𝐒𝐚𝐻's keen eyes discern Marco and his band of henchmen, conspicuously positioned at a distance, observing the chaotic scene with malicious satisfaction. 𝐒𝐚𝐻, recognizing the culprits responsible for the devastation, determines that they are the ones he must confront in his pursuit of justice. Collins comes across a news report detailing a harrowing terrorist attack in Rome, attributed to Syrian extremists. However, based on the information she has gathered from 𝐒𝐚𝐻, she harbors doubts about the authenticity of this narrative. Despite the discovery of Syrian narcotics at the vineyard, Collins is skeptical that the terrorists from Syria are responsible. She confides in Conroy, expressing her belief that there is a more intricate scheme unfolding beneath the surface. As fate would have it, Vincent shares his expansive aspirations with Marco, discussing their grand design to exert control over the entire coastal region through their various business ventures. Shockingly, it becomes apparent that the terrorist attack in Rome was a deliberate and integral part of this ambitious plan. In a dramatic twist of events, Collins herself becomes ensnared in the chaos when she finds herself perilously close to an explosion in the city while attempting to reach her car. Although she survives the ordeal, she is left hospitalized, bearing witness to the sinister forces at play and the dangerous conspiracies lurking in the shadows. Marco makes his way to a restaurant where 𝐒𝐲𝐬 is enjoying a meal with his family, with the intention of coercing him into acquiring boats from Somalis as part of some undisclosed scheme. While at the restaurant, Marco's attention is drawn to 𝐒𝐚𝐻, who is observing him closely. This leads Marco to approach 𝐒𝐚𝐻, initiating a confrontational exchange. 𝐒𝐚𝐻 leaves no room for ambiguity as he sternly warns Marco about the dire consequences should he persist in his threats against 𝐒𝐲𝐬's family. In a tense moment, 𝐒𝐚𝐻 seizes Marco's wrist and applies pressure to a specific nerve in his hand, inflicting excruciating pain until Marco relents and instructs his henchmen to vacate the establishment. Once outside the restaurant, Marco plots his revenge, but his sinister intentions are thwarted when one of his accomplices falls victim to a van that 𝐒𝐚𝐻 has ingeniously orchestrated, eliminating the driver beforehand. 𝐒𝐚𝐻 proceeds to eliminate the remaining henchmen before engaging in a brutal altercation with Marco. During their violent struggle, 𝐒𝐚𝐻 inflicts a debilitating injury, breaking Marco's arm, and ultimately forces him to turn the weapon on himself, resulting in a fatal outcome. Upon receiving the grim news of his brother's demise, Vincent is paid an unsettling visit by Chief Barella, who gives off the impression of having ties to the 𝐒𝐚𝐻, the notorious criminal group linked to Vincent's sibling. In this disquieting encounter, Barella issues menacing threats that drive Vincent to resort to extreme measures. In a shocking turn of events, Vincent inflicts a self-inflicted wound by stabbing his own hand, and subsequently, in a gruesome act, orders one of his henchmen to amputate Barella's hand. Following this gruesome act, Barella is transported to the hospital for a surgical reattachment of his severed hand, serving as a chilling reminder of Vincent's unwavering determination to seek retribution for his brother's death. In a retaliatory move, Vincent, accompanied by his gang of henchmen, descends upon Altamonte, launching a ruthless assault against 𝐒𝐲𝐬. This brutal attack involves discharging a firearm dangerously close to 𝐒𝐲𝐬's ear and issuing grave threats against him and his family, all with the aim of luring out the individual responsible for his brother's murder. Before Vincent can carry out his deadly intentions against 𝐒𝐚𝐻, a sudden, unexpected twist of fate unfolds. Enzo, with a rifle in hand, intervenes, firing shots that disrupt the menacing tableau. In a remarkable turn of events, the town's residents swiftly mobilize, brandishing their smartphones to document the villain's malevolent actions, creating a wave of public scrutiny that compels the assailants to retreat hastily, well aware of the impending arrival of law enforcement. Retreating to the sanctuary of his compound, Vincent is undeterred by the setback and proceeds to formulate nefarious plans for a retaliatory attack on Altamonte the following day. However, unbeknownst to Vincent and his cohorts, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 has already tracked them down and embarked on a mission to dismantle their operation. The ensuing confrontation becomes a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, with 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 stealthily picking off Vincent's henchmen one by one. Vincent is jolted awake by an eerie cascade of blood that drips onto him from above, culminating in one of his goons crashing through a shattered window. Desperate and fearing for his life, Vincent attempts to flee, but he is swiftly incapacitated by 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬. Upon regaining consciousness, Vincent finds himself in a dire predicament. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 has administered a lethal dose of the drugs discovered at the vineyard, leaving Vincent with a mere few minutes before his heart succumbs to the poison. With a heart pounding in terror, Vincent makes a desperate bid to escape, stumbling into the streets with 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 ominously trailing behind. Ultimately, Vincent's life takes a tragic turn as he is struck by a passing car, the crime lord staggering briefly before succumbing to his impending demise, marking the culmination of a relentless pursuit of justice. In a subsequent turn of events, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 pays a visit to the hospital where Collins is recuperating. In this moment of vulnerability, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 decides to confide in her, revealing a truth that had been shrouded in secrecy. He candidly discloses that his primary motivation for venturing into Sicily was not solely driven by the pursuit of justice, but rather a personal mission to recover stolen pension funds on behalf of someone he held dear. These funds had fallen victim to the nefarious schemes of the criminals who had entangled him in this perilous web of intrigue. With a heavy heart and a sense of duty, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 places a bag brimming with the hard-earned pension money by Collins' bedside, a tangible testament to his unwavering commitment to righting wrongs and seeking justice for those who have been wronged. As he departs the hospital, he leaves Collins to contemplate the complexities of their shared journey and the weight of the secrets that have come to light, all while bearing witness to 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's resolute determination to make amends and uphold a sense of moral integrity in the face of adversity. Following her journey to Boston, Collins arrives at the residence of the individual 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 had alluded to earlier. The couple, deeply moved and overwhelmed with gratitude, is emotionally reunited with their hard-earned money, a moment of redemption and justice that brings tears to their eyes. Collins, having played a pivotal role in this restitution, witnesses the profound impact of her efforts as she helps restore hope and security to this grateful family. As Collins resumes her duties and returns to her professional life, she is unexpectedly presented with a small, unassuming black book from 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬. Inside, she discovers a meticulously kept record of his personal gatherings, a testament to the intricate tapestry of 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's life and the enigmatic figure he has become. Accompanying the book is a heartfelt note that reads, "Your mother would be so proud of you," evoking a deep sense of appreciation for the shared journey and the bond that has developed between them. In a poignant moment of reflection, Collins gazes at a photograph on her desk, revealing a well-kept secret. She is Susan's daughter. The revelation adds a layer of complexity to her connection with 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬, linking their paths in ways they may not have initially anticipated. Meanwhile, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 chooses to remain in Altamonte, becoming an integral part of the community. He joins in the celebrations that mark the triumph of the local football team, a symbolic representation of the town's resilience and unity. In this joyful atmosphere, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 finds a sense of belonging and purpose, forging lasting connections with the residents as they collectively savor the sweet taste of victory and the bonds that have formed throughout their shared journey.